It was supposed to be an ordinary Saturday night. A simple dinner with friends, wine glasses clicking, stories overlapping, everyone letting their guard down just enough to feel warm and comfortable. The kind of evening where the world feels soft around the edges. Ryan sat beside me, his hand resting lightly on my knee. After 8 years of marriage, we had settled into a rhythm. Predictable, maybe, but safe in a way that felt like home. I didn't realize how fragile that sense of safety was until that night. Olivia showed up with her new boyfriend, Ethan, tall, confident, and the kind of man who seemed to take over a room without trying. He cracked jokes about his hours in the gym, bragged about how fit he was, and everyone chimed in with laughter, including me, maybe a little too enthusiastically. Somewhere between my second glass of wine and the dessert tray being passed around, Olivia teased the table with a question. Had any of us ever felt jealous over our partner? I don't know why I opened my mouth. Maybe I wanted to sound clever. Maybe I wanted to keep the attention on me. Maybe I didn't think at all. But the word spilled out anyway. Jealous? Please. The only time Ryan sweats is when he's trying to open a pickle jar. Everyone burst into laughter. Even Ethan smirked. For about 10 seconds, I felt witty, like I'd nailed the perfect joke. Then I looked at Ryan. He was smiling, but his eyes weren't. He didn't say a single word. Just leaned back and let the laughter fade around him. The silence in the car afterward was sharp enough to cut through. City lights slid across the windshield. I wished the night would rewind itself. Wished I could grab those words before they left my lips. You really thought that was funny? He asked eventually, voice calm but heavy. It was a joke, I whispered. Everyone laughed. He gave a small nod. Everyone except me. He didn't raise his voice. Didn't argue. Just let the silence settle for the rest of the drive. When we got home, he went straight to bed. I stared at the ceiling for hours, listening to the steady sound of his breathing. Steady, but far away. The next morning, everything looked normal. Coffee made, newspaper folded, a soft kiss on my forehead before he left for work. But something was missing, a warmth, a softness in his eyes. A piece of him had pulled back. Over the next few days, I tried everything. His favorite meals, questions about his day, little handwritten notes slipped into his lunch. He responded kindly, politely, but not closely. He treated me like someone he didn't want to hurt, but also didn't want to get too close to. A week later, I came home early, ready to surprise him. His car was in the driveway. Lights on. I opened the door and froze. A suitcase sat by the entryway, neatly packed. Ryan, I called, my voice cracking. He stepped out of the bedroom, folding his shirt. Calm, not angry, just finished. I'm going to stay with my brother for a bit, he said quietly. I felt my knees go weak. Because of one stupid joke? It wasn't a joke, Lily. His voice was steady. It was what it meant. I know, he said softly, cutting me off. But you did. And that's the part one can't ignore. You don't make someone you love the punchline. I reached for him. He stepped back. I just need space, he whispered. I need to remember who I am when I'm not being laughed at. He rolled his suitcase past me. The door closed behind him with a soft click. A small, devastating sound. For days, I jumped at every notification on my phone. Every car that slowed near the house felt like hope, but his silence continued. No calls, no messages, nothing. That's when it hit me. I hadn't made a careless joke. I had cracked something sacred. Weeks passed. His belongings slowly disappeared from the house. His shoes from the hallway, his mug from the counter, his side of the closet suddenly empty. The bed felt enormous without him. I kept telling myself he'd come back. Ryan wasn't the type to give up. He fixed things. He stayed. He tried. But my messages went unanswered. First short apologies, then long ones, paragraphs, memories, promises. Nothing changed. About a month later, I showed up at his brother's house, desperate just to see him. His brother opened the door, eyes full of sympathy. He's not here, he said. He left last week. Needed a fresh start. My legs felt like ice. He hadn't just left our home. He had left the city, not out of rage, but out of quiet hurt, the kind that leaves no room for anger because the wound runs deeper than that. Months passed, then more months. Friends stopped asking questions. Even I stopped trying to make excuses. That joke, that 10-second moment, became the thread that unraveled everything. One spring morning, a letter arrived. Not a text, not an email. A handwritten letter in Ryan's familiar slanted handwriting. Lily, I've thought a lot about what happened. Your joke didn't end our marriage. It just revealed what had already faded between us. I spent years loving you quietly, hoping you saw me. Over time, I guess I became someone you could laugh at instead of someone you laugh with. I'm not angry anymore, but I can't go back to feeling small so someone else feels bigger. I hope life is kind to you. Ryan, I read it so many times the paper softened at the folds. He wasn't cruel. He wasn't bitter. He was honest, and he was right. Slowly, the pain numbed into understanding. I started walking the trails we once took together. Sometimes I thought I smelled the cologne in the breeze, but it was only memory, only the echo of what I once had. 2 years later, I saw him in a bookstore. Older, calmer, happier. A woman stood beside him, her hand lightly resting in his. He saw me, nodded, then turned away. Just like that, the last thread of us floated loose. That night, I finally admitted the truth to myself. Some wounds aren't about what we lost. They're about what we failed to value while we had it. I mocked a man who loved me more quietly and more deeply than anyone ever had. And when he left, I didn't just lose a husband. I lost the one person who made me feel like I didn't need to be anything else. Now, whenever I hear laughter around a dinner table, I think of Ryan. Not every joke is harmless. Some stay with you forever.